Hi, everyone, and welcome to Aussizz Conclave 4.0. We hope that you're excited to know all about WA's latest updates on state nomination process. Now let's meet our expert who will be guiding you through your journey today. Bhaumik Patel is a seasoned migration agent who brings years of experience in both education and migration field. As a director of Aussizz Group Canningvale, he's committed to serving the community that shines through. Passion fuels his endeavor, and his unwavering positivity and can-do attitude are his defining strengths. So that's it, folks. Enjoy, and let's get started.
Thank you, Janvi. Thank you for the lovely introduction and the information about Aussizz Group and all of the things that we have to offer to all the great candidates. All right, everyone. My introduction has already been given by Janvi. And of course, I won't take much of my time to repeat that again. So we'll go back straight to the point. And today I'm going to discuss about the WA state nomination criteria, as well as, of course, I mean, the criteria is important for everyone to know. But on top of it, we also should know that, okay, well, what has been the trend and the patent for the WA state migration plan? So first of all, the WA state nomination plan is having the same kind of a skill migration options as other states, like subclass 491 and the subclass 190. Now, of course, subclass 190 offer 5 points from the WA state, whereas the subclass 491 skill work regional one offers extra 15 points. So technically speaking, candidate needs to have 60 on his own and 5 from the state to meet the 190 criteria. And for the 491, the candidate needs to have 15 and the 50 points, and the 15 will be top up by the state nomination program. So technically, you will hit the required score, which is 65, and then you'll be eligible to apply for your expression of interest in either of the subclass, or you can apply for both of them. Now, moving forward. The trend, as I said, the trend for the migration program for the WA state nomination has always been unpredictable, of course, because it has become very popular from last 2 year. And we have seen that the last financial year, the WA state has got the great number of quota. And because of that, it has received a wide popularity among all the other states, and therefore the number of migration has increased in WA compared to other states. Now the last financial year, technically this financial year, which is 2 more days to go. So this financial year, the WA has received a limited number of quota, and therefore the WA state nomination program has been closed on 2nd February 2024. Until then, the WA state has run 3 invitation rounds for 3 consecutive months, and that started from September, October, and November. And in this particular 3 invitation round, what they have done is, instead of inviting pretty much all kind of occupation, they have highly focused on certain invitations in the design and prioritize industries, where they have selected a lot of candidates from construction, health, and then hospitality. And of course, some other occupations were also invited because of the higher points. But most of the invitations has gone towards these 3 industries, which I've just said. Now, the priority industry has always been one of the most key factor for any of the state to invite candidates. And in that particular scenario, WA state has always been this way. So currently what we know is that whether you are coming from a general stream or a graduate stream, or you are coming from any specific candidate overseas in the general stream, if you are having your occupation in WA state nomination list, and if you are having that occupation which is also falling into the category of the priority occupation list, then of course the chances of your invitations are higher compared to the normal occupations. Now, when we talk about the eligibility criteria of the WA state nomination program, then it has been significantly improved over the period of time, and it has got more leverage for the candidate who were aiming to apply for the WA state nomination, because as we have progressed for the state nomination migration plan since 2022 to till now, it has always changed in the direction where it has got more encouragement in the people, and it has got more to offer in terms of securing the migration journey. So this is the trend, and it has definitely encouraged a lot of migrants to relocate from another states to WA. So for example, when we talk about the general stream criteria, as I said in my previous video, if anyone of you have ever seen, then I've always said that, well, WA has always make sure that what they could offer to the people who are coming from the health related background and the health related occupation. So for example, general stream, we always had this kind of a requirement that irrespective of your occupation from the health related in industry, if you are invited under a general stream, then either it is a 491 visa or a 190 visa, you must have a job offer letter in Western Australia. The employer must be based in Western Australia. However, in the current financial year, the WA state has given that extreme leverage to the candidate who were coming from the health background and applying for the expression of interest under a general stream and targeting to secure the subclass 491. They were all exempt by the state government to have the employment offer, because they already knew that, okay, well, if the candidate is coming from the health background, having the registration or the minimum prerequisite to meet the state nomination criteria, then for the 491 regional sponsored visa, the WA state did not look for the employment offer letter, which used to be there in the last financial year. So that's another advantage happened for a lot of people who were migrated from New South Wales, Victoria, or any other state. On the other hand, for 190, the criteria has remained the same for the health related occupation for the general stream. But as we progress forward with the graduate stream, now under the graduate stream, department has got this requirement completely waived off. Either you are coming from health related occupation, or you're coming from a normal occupations, or you're coming from any diploma level occupation, irrespective, as long as you are in Western Australia, you have studied in Western Australia for 2 financial years, I mean, 2 year study, you do not require any job offer letter, neither you required any specific employment in your own. Whereas in the last financial year, it was always a situation where department was looking for the employment contract, irrespective whether you are graduated from WA or not. So that was another advantage they have given. On the other end, if we compare the last financial year to this financial year, then they have also given extreme leverage to the students who were coming from certain industry, for example, construction related industry, and their occupations were in demand in Western Australia. If they have applied for the subclass 190 here in Western Australia, if they were invited, then they were all exempted to have the employment offer letter, because the WA state had kind of encouraging program for the migrants to relocate in WA from the construction industry and then secure the employment here, because of course WA state is looking for a skilled candidate. So that was also one of the advantage we had in this current financial year compared to the last one. Apart from these, irrespective of the occupation, irrespective of the stream you're targeting, but if you're applying for the subclass 491, then you never required a job offer letter in this financial year. And that was very, very great policy that WA state has revealed and consistently applied to the skilled migration program, and a lot of students have been benefited with this part, and of course they were able to secure their employment afterward. But it has offered them the skilled migration, so they are all pretty much secure right away. Now we are moving forward with the overview requirement. So the overview requirement for the WA state nomination program has been pretty much very familiar and very easy to understand. So let's say, for example, if you are coming from the health background, then of course you are targeting the 𝐦𝐨𝐫𝐿, which is the Western Australian Skilled Migration Occupation List. considered as a Schedule 1. And for that, they are saying that the person needs to only meet the minimum criteria with the Department of Home Affairs, and the person needs to have his nominated occupation in the list, and the minimum English requirement, which is very, very easy, which is 6 in each component, and the 1 year of experience. Now that requirement is only for the people who are coming from the health related background, not for anybody else. So if you are a registered nurse, if you are a audiologist, if you are a doctor, then of course you are in a health industry and coming from a Schedule 1 background, then of course you need to have a minimum 1 year of experience in Australia or overseas. So for example, someone who has secured the experience in Australia for 1 year, great. If one has only overseas experience for 1 year, either way, it's completely fine. And then they have secured, so another requirement they have added and removed. So for example, for a 190, the contract requirement for the full-time employment contract requirement in Western Australia for 6 months has remained same for a 190 occupation. However, it has been removed for the 491. So there is no contract requirement for the 491. Then, of course, the minimum qualification, it's not something that needs to be considered if you are applying for the general stream, because WA State is not looking for any specific qualification in Western Australia if you are falling into the category of a general stream Schedule 1. Moving forward to the another category, which is one of the most popular category, which is a general stream Westmoreland Schedule 2. Now, this particular category has been designed for the people who are, whether they are in Australia or whether they are overseas. But the requirement is remain the same for both of them, either you are overseas or in Australia. However, there is a hierarchy that we are going to discuss in the next slide. So the standard requirement for the Westmoreland Schedule 2 is you need to meet the minimum department requirement. Occupation must be in the list. You meet minimum English test requirement, and you need minimum 6 months of full-time employment contract only and only if you are invited from the WA State. So a lot of people are not having a clarity here, and they are always afraid to place their UI in a queue because they are thinking that, okay, well, they do not have the employment yet in Western Australia, or they have not been offered any employment yet in Western Australia. Therefore, they are not qualified to apply for the expression of interest. No, that's completely myth. The fact is that you can always apply for the expression of interest in Western Australia if your occupation is in demand, if you're meeting the minimum criteria, and you only require to secure and submit the employment contract for a minimum 6 months of time if you are selected and invited to apply for the 190, subclass 190 only. The requirement of the employment for 6 months has been removed for the 491 irrespective of the occupation. So if you are invited for the 491, then literally you do not require anything. So my suggestion to any of you who are targeting this, just apply for both of your expression of interest for a 190 and a 491 both. Have backup plan. When we move forward with the last stream, which is a graduate stream, then again for the graduate stream is highly designed for the students who have studied in Western Australia, whether the certificate 3 level qualification for 2 years, or a diploma level qualification for 2 years, or a bachelor's degree with the 2 years or more, or a bachelor's of honors, or a master's, or a PhD. So this is only and only for those who have studied in Western Australia. If you have not studied in Western Australia, then this particular stream does not apply to you. Now for the graduate stream, the requirement has always been it has always been more convenient and easy in order to achieve the migration for the WA students. Now the standard requirement is still the same for the minimum entry requirement from the Department of Home Affairs, which is your skill assessment and minimum points. And then of course your nominated occupation must be in the WA State nomination list for the graduate stream. And of course you need to meet the minimum English requirement. Other than that, of course, as I already mentioned, minimum 2 years of study, that is must, and that is must means must. Now here I want to stretch a little bit for a lot of students, because we have always come across a lot of queries and people are always asking me this question. So for example, someone who has started a master's degree and done with the 3 units in Victoria for a Masters of Project Management or a Masters of Engineering or a Masters of Accounting, for example. Now, after completing that 3 units, he decided to relocate in Western Australian University, either ECU, Murdoch, Curtin, UWA, or Notre Dame, and acquired the confirmation of enrollment from Western Australian University, and then he obtained a credit from those completed unit from another university in Victoria to Western Australia, and then completed the remaining study here in Western Australia. And if he's thinking that he is meeting the state nomination requirement and the graduate stream because he studied in Western Australia, he achieved the qualification from ECU or Murdoch, and he is applying for the graduate stream, nah, that is completely myth. If you have got a single unit credit even from any other university outside of Western Australia, then you are not going to meet the WA study requirement for 2 years. And therefore, you will always be considered under a general stream, not the graduate stream. So remember, before proceeding, you always have to clear this part and then apply. Otherwise, you will invite us for no reason. But the people who have completed study from Western Australia for a complete 2 years without any credits from any other states or any other qualification from overseas, then they are 100% meeting the requirement of a graduate stream. And you will have an extreme leverage in this stream, because if you are a graduate from WA, then either you are a 190 candidate or a 491 candidate. Irrespective, you literally do not require employment contract for a 6 month. You do not require any experience in the same nominated occupation for a 6 month or more. You literally do not require anything. So this is one of the most encouraging requirement, and a lot of students have been benefited over the period of time. And of course, this is the only reason WA state has got more popularity among all the other states, and more students have come over the period of time in Western Australia and secure their admission and the study options. Now, if we look at the process, the flow chart of the WA state nomination process, then it is 100% unique, very simple, easy to understand, and easy to process to any other state and any other migration program across Australia. The first step is, as you all can see my slide, first step is you need to lodge your expression of interest by meeting the minimum threshold requirement, which is a 65 points, a minimum requirement. So there is no such requirement like ROI, metrics, this and that. No, it is not. You only have to place your UI in a queue and target the 190 or a 491 in Western Australia, and that is it. Then you just sit tight and wait for the invitation round to happen. Now, as I said, in this current financial year, due to having a very small number of quota, the WA state has finished the entire quota in a 3 invitation round itself. But if imagine the quota was higher, then the invitation round would have come till now, right? So in this case, of course, the prediction is a little better than the current financial year for the coming financial year. And the invitation round will have a bit more leverage and bit more round up. So let's say, for example, if you lodge an UI and then you are invited from the WA state nomination team, then the only thing you have to do is you have to just make sure that whatever the point you claim in your expression of interest, you have to prepare your documents ready. And within the 28 days, you have to lodge your state nomination application and submit all the documents supporting to your points, and then wait for the state to assess. The state will do all the background check of your application, whether it is from the qualification level or the employment level or the English level. They will do all the background check. And on this note, I just want to add one more thing for a lot of candidates, because people are coming from interstate and applying for the WA state nomination program, and they are of course not very sure about the actual flow of the process. So I just want to stress a little bit here that when you're submitting the employment contract that has been offered by your Western Australian employer, then you need to understand it is not possible that your employer is based in West Victoria or New South Wales or Queensland and they have given you a subcontract work here in Western Australia, they will not accept this part. So understand, guys, you need to have a based employer in Western Australia, not any other state. That's another thing. The second thing is that when you submit your employment contract, you also have to make sure that the person who has signed the employment contract, the authorized person, must be aware of the state migration team and the process, and they must understand that the state nomination team will contact them and ask them all the background information about this contract and how it has been offered, and they will also ask all the supporting document to prove that the employer is based in Western Australia. So they have to be careful in order to give that information to the state migration team so that they cannot miss out on any of the opportunity. And then, of course, you can secure your state nomination outcome positive. Once this part is done, then right after that, the state nomination team will send you the approval letter. And then, of course, they will inform the Department of Home Affairs to send you the final invite in the skill select, where your actual expression of interest is lodged. Once your skill select invite has come through, then it is confirmed that the immigration department has no objection in order to allow you to process the visa within the validity of that skill select link, which is 60 days, which is a 2-month. You must lodge your skill select visa application through your skill select link within 60 days. And once your visa application is lodged, then you have to just back it up with all your documents that you have claimed to secure the state nomination program, and then just wait for the department to assess your application and give you the visa outcome. The visa outcome is obviously based on the whole process that you have followed. And in the journey of this migration, I would like to tell you something that we have achieved here in Western Australia, especially for the team of a migration consultant, highly talented, skillful migration consultant based in Aussizz Group, Western Australia. So far, in this 3 financial year, we have not gone a 1% wrong in the entire process, irrespective of the candidate background, either from a general stream, graduate stream, or a Schedule 2. We literally have got 100% positive outcome from the state and from the Department of Home Affairs. And I'm only talking about those candidates who have processed through Western Australian team. So this is something I just wanted to add on, that you can always rely on such consultant who are having a great knowledge in the industry that can always help you to secure your spot with the most precise way. And of course, it will help you to escalate your journey and have a very smooth lineup. Now, this is something that you guys have experienced, maybe or may not be, but in WA, the invitation is based on the hierarchy. So it is not based on the points. Yes, points is one of the factor, but not 100%. So for example, in Victoria, points is one of the major factor, whereas in Western Australia, points are the second lowest. Now, when we talk about invitation hierarchy for the general stream, then as you can see my screen, your ranking system is based on the EOIs are selected based on the following ranking system for the general stream. You can see that candidate eligible for the general stream will be ranked in accordance with the following, which is currently residing in Western Australia, then currently residing offshore in another Australian state or territory. Now, let me give you a bit of information on this part. So let's say, for example, one is a registered nurse, studied in Western Australia, currently based in Victoria, having the occupation in WA state, having a 90 points as a registered nurse in the critical sector, applied an EOI and living in Victoria. So applied EOI in Western Australia, but living in Victoria. Whereas the other candidate who has also acquired the qualification from Victoria, who has also achieved the registration and the skill assessment from AFRA and NMAC, submitted the UI with the 70 points in a registered nurse critical sector, for example, and currently living in Western Australia. So now the department has two candidates with the same skill set, but one is living in Victoria with the higher points. The other one is living in Western Australia with the lower points. Now guess, guys, who is going to be invited? The one who is currently based in Western Australia with the 70 points, not the one who is living in Victoria with the 90 points. So that's the advantage WA State has given to the people who have decided to relocate and contribute in the development of the WA State in order to secure the state migration journey. And of course, if they are in WA, they are going to work in the industry. The other parties offshore, they're in the same category, and that goes mainly on individual occupation and the points. Apart from that, the other part they have defined in this only this current financial year. So this was not before the financial year. It is only in this one, because after COVID, we have all seen that the certain industry has got a great a very difficult situation in order to fill the great in demand. So for example, building and constructions, healthcare, social, hospitality and tourism, and the education and training. So in WA State has mainly designed the invitation hierarchy for people who are coming from interstate or overseas, that if they are coming from this particular industry, then they will be the priority in order to be invited compared to the other one. So for example, if you are a civil engineer having a 70 points living in Victoria, and I'm an accountant living in Victoria and having 100 points, well, the WA State is giving preference to the civil engineer compared to the accountant. So that's what I mean. The last one is occupation in all other WA industry, of course, as I said, and then the point test, oldest EUI submission date. The oldest EUI submission date is definitely something that does not require a lot of attention from anybody. So technically, if we compare this particular part with the skill select, then this is something you all will be confused, but in WA it's not like that, so don't stress for that part. Discuss these two general stream criteria. Now I'm moving forward with the requirement for the graduates. So the students who are in Western Australia, who have graduated in Western Australia or going to be graduated in Western Australia from either a higher education or a vocational, then this is something that you all will would like to know. Now, first point is graduate stream higher education graduates. So this is only and only for the people who have completed a high level qualification, PhD, masters, bachelor's, honors, and bachelor's and honors. Now, the hierarchy is designed this way. So currently residing in Western Australia or another Australian state, occupation in WA priority list, occupation in all other WA industry list, completed a PhD, so first preference, masters, same, first preference. The second is honors, bachelor's honors, and higher education, which is bachelor's degree. Then the preference is highest points, and then the oldest submission of an EUI date. Now, you all would like to know that 75% of the quota is going always towards the higher education graduates compared to the vocational graduates. But yeah, this is how the WA State has been operating. On the other end, when we talk about graduate stream for the vocational education level qualification, then we are talking about certificate 3, 4, diploma, advanced diploma, associate degree. So they are all falling into the category of a vocational. For these people, the criteria is pretty same, currently residing in Western Australia or offshore or another state. Occupation occupation in priority list. If it is, then of course you will be priority in any other compared to the priority, any other industry. The advanced level qualification is the top priority comparatively in terms of the qualification hierarchy, whereas the diploma is the second. Certificate 3 and 4 is the third one. So of course, advanced diploma is having a more weight compared to certificate 3 in terms of the qualification. However, you must be thinking that how is that even possible? But this is how the WA State has been operating. So for example, I have done certificate 3 in carpentry, have got, and my friend has done certificate 3 in carpentry, diploma in construction, advanced diploma in construction, and has got 70 points. So in this case, WA state is going to give a credibility and more weight to the person who has got an advanced diploma, even though he has a less point compared to the person who has got only certificate 3. So this is where the change is. It's catchy. So far from last 3 years, this is how the migration plan has been. So of course you all can understand that how you want to plan your stuff. The fourth one is highest points. So the points is something that WA state is not much concerned as long as you're meeting the minimum threshold points. But the only situation comes into the picture where your particular occupation is more demanding and more competitive, for example, and if you are also having less point and the same time someone else has a high points, then of course he will secure the invitation. So you also have to understand that in which industry you are coming from of targeting, right? And then of course the last part is the oldest UI submission date. So the oldest UI submission date is always something that people not have a very much clear idea, but let me give you a little bit of idea. That oldest UI submission date means that the person who has submitted the expression of interest, let's say a year ago, and have got, let's say, 90 points and have got only certificate 3, whereas the person who has got an advanced diploma submitted the EOI in 6 months before, then he will be priority for the invitation for the same kind of occupation compared to the one who submitted a year and a half ago. So that's where the qualification plays a vital role compared to the submission date. Moving forward with the next part. So I've already covered these things, but let me give you a bit more idea on this. So see, in this current financial year, as well as the previous financial year. So I'm talking about 2022 to 2023, 2023 to 2024. So the invitation hierarchy has always been like this and split into 25% for the higher education, 25% for the wet. So 75% means that is going towards the people who have achieved the high level qualification, which is a bachelor's, master's, PhD and all. And the other 25% going towards the wet qualification, which is certificate 3 for diploma, advanced diploma and associate degree. Now 100 invitation release, 75 will go to the higher education, 25 will go to the wet level qualification. So you can see that competition in the higher education is more, more stressing. However, the quota is also allocated more. So you guys can understand that securing your invitation with the higher education is more convenient compared to the vocational one. But in the vocational one, of course, the qualification plays a vital role. So when we only have, then you should also consider to increase your qualification level compared to points. And then, of course, that will help you to secure your invitations. Now look at the graph. Look at the stats of the invitation program for this financial year. This is the current financial year. So we only have 3 invitation rounds so far. And in these 3 invitation round, we have received the first invitation round was having a 487 invites, and they only invited 190 candidate. First general stream schedule 2, only 302 people, and that is for across Australia. So not only designed for Western Australia graduates, across Australia, whereas the graduates one designed for the higher education students in Western Australia. So 150 people. So you can see 302, 150 and 35. So technically more invite has gone towards the general stream where people have studied in another states and living in another state compared to the students who are graduated from Western Australia. This usually doesn't happen, but it has happened, and it is going to be this way only because they are trying to encourage more talented students from the different critical occupation. So if your occupation is a priority, then of course you are having a better chances compared to the normal occupations. Now we move forward to the second phase, which is October round, which was the biggest one, which consumed about 2,500 invites in one single invites, where they have also done the same thing. They have invited more people in a general stream than the graduate stream. But of course, so the 33% of the invite has gone to the general one, whereas the 66% invite has gone towards the, sorry, 33% has gone to the graduates and 66 has gone. And the last round was only in November 2023, and that's it. After that, there was no more invitation round. So total invites, if you can see my screen, 4,188 invitation has been released in 3 consecutive months, and the migration program was finished. And in the last invitation round, they have invited 1,200 students altogether. And of course, they have also covered General Stream 1, then Schedule 2, and then graduates from higher education in Western Australia and graduates from the vocational one. So with this number, what I can see is that the WA state, somehow they were very aggressive in terms of the invites, and they were more keen to have in certain specific industries, so that they wanted to just run the a skill migration flow in a way to have more people in Western Australia to support the skill shortage in the priority occupation and priority industries. But it is not always like this. So before this financial year, when the quota was very normal, when we did not have any kind of a priority occupation list or any specific industry shortage, skill shortage, we were having a very consistent migration flow, and everybody was having a pretty much great turn. So one accountant was invited, then the health was invited, then the construction, then the hospitality, then the other background, right? But in this one, they were very, very focused on the skill shortage only, which was currently in demand in Western Australia and whatever they were looking for. So in the coming financial year, it looks very similar to me that it is going to be same way, because currently we are also having the similar situation in the building and construction industry, in the health sector and the welfare and the other related sources, doctors, the community services, the construction, which is the civil engineers, carpenter, draft person, technician, and all the other trade occupation. So that is all towards one of the priority, where the government is predicting that it is still going to be another year or 2 years of a program where they need a lot of skilled worker in this particular industry. So in this announcement in the budget, we've already received the information that, okay, well, the entire state migration plan is going to be the same. It wasn't more state nomination allocation. So that 3,000 number will be allocated among all the other states. So imagine, guys, there are bigger states: Victoria, New South Wales, Queensland, Western Australia, and then Adelaide, which is South Australia, Tasmania, and Northern Territory. It is going, and ACT. It is going to be divided in all these states, and most probably the quota will go towards the big states more than compared to the small states. So of course, WA will have a better number, but considering the circumstances, it would be possibly it would have maybe 300 or 500 maximum number of seats compared to this current financial year, and that's not much. So the competition is going to be kind of same. So you guys have to be prepared in order to plan your migration journey, and you guys have to be more advanced in terms of prepare yourself to be invited in Western Australia. So there are a lot of, in order to secure your seat in Western Australia for the skill migration 190 or 491. And for that, of course, you can always consult right people. Now, see, in this slide, you can see the migration program of the WA. So in 2020, 21 and 2022, we only had a very small number of quota, which is 1,100 for a 190 and 340, which is literally 1,440, right? Now, see, in a 1,440, it was still good for students in Western Australia. Now you must be thinking that how is that even possible? Yes, it was very possible, because this quota was only and only designed for the students who were in Western Australia, who studied in Western Australia. So that time WA was not very popular, so nobody has come from any other state, but this program was only designed for the students in WA. So that's why WA students were very happy, and everybody was selected, and everybody was pretty much, sorted with that migration plan. But moving forward, as the state wanted to grow, as the skill shortage was hit, and after COVID, whatever the situation has come up in every other state, the WA state has taken a further steps, and they were trying to look for a more candidate from across Australia as well as overseas. And therefore, the quota was, look at the number of quota. For 190, it was 5,350, and for 491, 2,790. So literally 8,000 number. So in 2022 to 2023, 8,000 people secure their migration journey in Western Australia with the most efficient, most easy, most convenient pathway to have a permanent residency through 190 or 491. Then, of course, the another financial year, which is current one, we have got dropped down significantly, gone by 46 compared to the last one, right? Now, this coming financial year, I know that's a question mark, but it is not going to be down than what we currently have. It is definitely going to be more than what we have. So have faith and stick around. You will have an opportunity. Yes, we are still having a little bit of information from our own analysis, our own statistics, and our own expertise, that the next move from not only in Western Australia, but in general, the next move from the government for the migration is going to be towards the skilled worker. Now, the definition of a skilled worker is this, that you will be able to secure your migration journey in Australia if you are going to give your skill back to the Australian economy. So it's a two-way street, my friend. So, for example, if you are coming from a construction industry occupation, and if you are not working in the construction industry, or you're not trying to work in the construction industry, then the chances of having your security is same goes to the hospitality. So if you are coming from a hospitality background and not working in the hospitality background, then it's most likely you're going to challenge yourself to secure your migration compared to the one who is working in the industry. So this is a general information. I'm not predicting anything that this is how it is going to be, but yes, most probably this is the trend we are looking at. And if you see the patent, this is how the migration plan has significantly grown towards the skill shortage. And in recent announcement and the changes that we are all looking at, department is saying the same thing, that they want to have people who are going to contribute in the economic and in the skill shortage. And how is that going to work if you don't work in the same industry what you are qualified for? So same thing, right? So that's something I would forget about these points, forget about the occupation list and all those things. Just understand that those things you cannot control, but what you can control is that if you are a professional in any particular form of the skill, whether it is a trade or any professional qualification with a bachelor's, master's, try to be employed in any junior level to a senior level position, whatever you can, just get into the field. That will help you to secure your migration journey. In any state I'm talking about, in Western Australia is of course going to be something similar, but yes, this is how it is going to be. So see, migration strategy expected in 2024, 2025. I mean, this is something I have picked up from the information which was released by Neil, our Minister for Immigration Affairs. And in that 103-page of book, this is what I have picked up for you guys. And I thought like I might share with you and it might help you, right? So formal role in defining Australia's skill need, use evidence-based analysis and stakeholder engagement. So this is what I was talking about before this slide, role of a job and skills Australia. The second one is overview of the model developed by jobs and skills, importance in informing the CSOL development process. Now this CSOL is a new skill occupation list, which is draft version, yet not finalized though. And in this particular occupation list, department is trying to understand the industry demand, the skill shortage, unique occupation list that can help for all the visa subclasses. That's what that idea is, but we still have not got 100% clarification on these though. The third part is labor market analysis. That's what they are doing. The stakeholder engagement, that's what they are doing. So the occupation list is a draft version where they are not sure for some occupation that whether they should be in the list or not. And in that case, they are saying that, well, we will be going with those occupation if the industry partner says that they are kind of requirement in the growth of the particular industry and the sector, and then we will add them. Otherwise, we'll have to put them on hold for a while. Then the last one is explanation of the three group, which is the mode of this particular draft version, which is one is a confident, 100% going to be there. The second one is a 100% off, means that those occupations will definitely go off. And the third one is targeted for the consultation. So targeted for the consultation means that they are, as I said, they are going to work with the industry partner and work around and see if they need those people. So that's another one. Moving forward with the next slide, next financial year, the salary arrangement and the earning for the prospective migrants. Those things are very much discussed and revealed in that particular migration information when the Claire O'Neill announced for the Minister Claire O'Neill announced for these changes, upcoming changes in the next financial year. Now, in this one, they were talking about minimum earning to the maximum earning, and then the skill shortage comparison, right? So they were saying that, of course, those people who are working in the industry earning 70,000 or below cannot gain entry regardless of occupation, whereas the one who are working in the industry work and having income of 130,000 or more regardless of occupation, they will have an entry. Now, see, this is something yet not clear, so I don't want to stress too much, yet to be released in the legislative form. And if it is not revealed in a legislative form, then you guys do not have to stress and worry about this part so much. You only have to understand that whatever you are studying or whatever you have completed study, please look for the job in your own field. That will definitely pave a pathway for you to secure your migration journey in Australia. Now, see, some of the example that I can give you in a confident occupation list. Of course, the confident occupation list is available on the Skills Australia website, and you can always just Google it, the draft version of a CSOL, the core skill occupation list, and you will be able to see all these three draft version, which is confident, off, and the targeted for the consultation. Some of the example that I have for you guys is confident occupation, whereas medical sectors, pathologists, surgeons, they are 100% there. Construction sectors, civil engineers, draft persons, they are 100% there. For the IT, database administrator, network admin, they are 100% there. Engineers, electrical, petroleum, 100% there. ICT managers and environmental. About so many other occupations that are definitely there, but of course there are so many occupations, so I could not cover them all here. But as I told you that you can Google it as a CSOL and you'll be able to see. Now, the next one is targeted for a consultation. So targeted for a consultation means that these occupations are currently in a discussion mode. So the government people is the situation in the industry and trying to understand whether these occupations are supposed to be in the list or they should be put on hold. So, for example, food technologist, chemist, life science engineer, motor mechanic, accountant, chef, cook, baker, marketing specialist, carpenter, hairdresser, panel beater, graphic designer, and other PR professionals. These occupations are currently in the target situation where they are consulting within the industry and trying to understand whether we need these people or we are going to put it on hold, or we should have a minimum prerequisite, something like that. It has not been finalized yet, and that's where the air is right now. So everybody's talking about that these occupations are going off. No, they are not going off. This targeted for consultation means one more thing that I could add up here is that department has done their analysis for the confident one, but they did not completely understand these occupations and the demand in the industry. Therefore, they are trying to work with the experts to understand how we can form a better occupation list with a more precise and more clear understanding of the requirement to boost our skill shortage and the economy. But those which are off in the occupation list, that's definitely gone. So for those occupations which are completely off, that's if your occupation is in the off list, then you have to think twice and start working around with your further move. In 2024-2025 financial year, priority will be given to following sector, and this is not something that I'm saying. This is a 100% accurate information, completely available on the government legal sources, and this is exactly they are looking for. They know that this is the most basic necessity to develop and create the best economy and the best infrastructure in the world, in Australia, and therefore they need these four pillars, which is health, housing, education, and infrastructure. And you all can see the current changes in the migration policy. You all can see how department is trying to work around with the occupation list. You all can see how department is trying to work around with the invites. You all can see the last invitation round, the most recent one, in fact, from the skill select 189 invitation round, where they have invited more people from this related industry compared to any other occupation, right? So you can see that how government is trying to form. So we have information to understand what department is looking at and why you need to be concerned about. If you are not ready yet, then you need to plan your journey, my friend. You need to understand your situation, consult a better person, have a clarity, and take it from there. A faster you realize your situation, it's better for you to plan your next move. So first thing is accept where you are, understand where you are, understand your current situation in the migration industry, and understand the changes, how it is going to apply to you, and then see where you stand. Then from there, you can completely have a 360 angle view in which direction you should be going. And for that, of course, you need expert help, and therefore you can always go and meet our consultant at Aussizz Group, whichever location you are. Find out the nearest office of Aussizz Group and meet the registered consultant, and they'll help you to navigate your situation. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. And it was lovely to meet all of you online. And thank you for making this Conclave 2024 a very successful, that is giving us more energy and more kind of encouragement to do it next year with one more system and more information. Thank you, guys.